I always love a great debate on economic management, especially against the Labor Party, because it is like falling through the looking glass into a parallel universe. They stand up here and they say, we need economic growth. And you know why we need economic growth? So we can take more money from people who've created that growth. That's what we need, because they're all about division. They're all about taking. They're all about destroying. They're not one single word about creating. It may strike the member for Dobell as extraordinary, but there are people in my electorate who have to travel 3 or 4 hours a day to get to work too. There are people right across Australia who make sacrifices to get to work. And what do we give them for all the effort that they put into that? We tax them. We tax them so that they can fund social welfare programs that, according to the member for Fenner, have failed. Well, I'm here to tell the member for Fenner they haven't failed. Under this government, inequality is going down. Inequality is at a record low in Australia because of the policies of this government. Because this government is about growing the cake, not spending all its time trying to divide and shrink the cake, not spending all its time telling one group of Australians that they should dislike the other group of Australians because there's more that they can take from them. This government is about building. This party, the party I belong to, is all about the hope. The party on that side, all about the nope. And that's what we get. They should be coming into this chamber and thanking us. Since this government was elected, 1,100 jobs have been created a day. But do they care about that? No, because all they're worried about is, why can't we get more tax from those people who have jobs so we can give more away? That's what they're worried about. They're not worried about people. The only time they're worried about people is when they're not getting enough taxes out of them. The only time they're worried about people is when they need their votes or when they need them to join up to to force them to join up to a union. The party of division, the party that cannot cope with the success story that is Australia, is the Labor Party. It never has and it never will, because the truth of the matter is that this government knows that governments don't grow economies. Governments don't create wealth. Governments, by and large, don't make things better. What governments need to do is get out of the way, because it's Australians who make our economy great. It's Australians that make this country great, not union officials, not social welfare programs. People, ordinary Australians who are decried by the member for Dobell, who get up at 5 a.m. and go to work, who go to work and work hard, who then go home and look after their kids. They're the people that this party, the Liberal Party, has always supported and always will, often in the face of the Labor Party's trenchant opposition. Just today, where they're going to play games over the TPP. Why? Because they can. Is there one skerrick of policy rationale for what they're doing? Absolutely not. They have no idea what they're talking about. Free trade has created more wealth than any other single policy in the history of humanity. For 50 years we followed their recipe of government-funded foreign and development aid to try and shift global poverty. You want to know what happened? Nothing. We spent a lot of money on bureaucrats achieving absolutely nothing. In 3 decades of free trade, 2.1 billion people have been lifted out of global poverty, and the sort of poverty where you have to decide whether you want to have a meal for yourself or a meal for your kids. That's the type of policy the Labor Party's opposed to. Why? Because they can play politics. Why else? Because they can lie to people and tell people that their jobs will be worse off, so they can run industrial campaigns and claim that things are going to get worse, when we all know that things are going to get better. How do we know that? Because Australia at the moment has a faster growth rate, and that you may be interested in growth. That's the thing that creates jobs. That's the thing that creates wealth for you blokes to tax so you can transfer it to someone else. And then you can carry on. And say how inequality is getting worse, when in fact inequality is at a 75-year low. The Labor Party should get on board with this government. The Labor Party should get on board with this government, its economic management, because we're making things happen and you're destroying people's lives.